Welcome to today's class. In today's class, we'll be talking about introduction to HTML. In the previous class, we talked about the tools needed for coding, and don't forget we are using Notepad++ for our code editor. So in today's class, let me introduce what an HTML is. An HTML is a standard markup language for web pages. The full meaning of HTML is hypertext markup language. There's it, hypertext markup language, and it also describes the structure of a web page, and also it consists of series of elements. What are the elements? For example, we have the doc type, the HTML, the head, and so on. What I listed, these are the elements. So let me explain one after the other. The doc type. The doc type, it defines that the element is an element which shows that the document is an HTML document. And also, for you to start your HTML code, you must always make doc type the first thing you write when coding, followed by the HTML. The HTML element, it shows that the code you are to write is an HTML code and is always after the doc type HTML. You can see is after the doc type HTML, I wrote the HTML, followed by the head. The head is an element which contains meta information about page, followed by the title. I will explain using a diagram, followed by the title. The title is an element which specifically shows a title for the HTML page that is shown in the browser's title bar. The body is, sorry, I've omitted one. The body element defines the document's body and is a container for all visible content such as the headings, the paragraph, hyperlinks, tables, and lists. As we move forward, I will be explaining more about the heading, paragraph, and so on, as I mentioned earlier. The H1 element. The H1 element defines the large heading, while the P, which shows the paragraph element, defines a paragraph. And don't forget, elements are defined by a start tag, some content, and an end tag. Example, look at this. This is start tag, an opening tag, which shows is an element, while the content inside this it, while the closing tag this it. But for you to know the closing tag is always carry the slash before the elements. For example, let me go to my notepad. For example, see the title, Code with Adam Scott. That shows that the element has an opening tag and a closing tag. And also, it's not all HTML that has a closing tag, but when we get there, I'm going to tell you more about it. So let's see how a page is structured. Check it out. Don't forget, I said you are going to put your doc type first. Your doc type HTML, followed by the head, followed by the title, followed by the title. The title is Code with Adam Scott. then close the tag. Then followed by close the heading. You have seen, close the head, then the body, and don't forget the body contains all what is visible in the web page. For example, look at it, the H1. This is the heading, which shows this is my first web page. Close the tag. Then paragraph. Don't forget, as we mentioned earlier about the elements, see how we are following it. That is how you'll be following it if you want to write your own web page. Followed by the paragraph, the P. This is my paragraph. I'm just using this as an example for you guys. Then close the body tag. Then after, close the HTML tag. After writing your code, the most important part is how to run your program. If you want to run your program, you will first save your documents as a normal document. Sorry, it's loading. Then notes, you can put anything, like let me put it as introduction. Then put dots HTML for the computer to know that is an HTML file. You have seen it has shown that is an hypertext markup language file. Then save it. So if you want to run it, go to your documents where you save it, then save it. This is what is going to bring up. This is the title we wrote the other time. This is the heading, and this is my paragraph. So in this lesson, I've shown you all the basics you need to know for you to write your first web page. So now let's go to the next class.